Alright.
What a warm July day, 8 o'clock to be exact. A child is born with a take a breather. Cries rang out, doctor sprang, everybody trying to grab, but that's all to see. Tears roll down faces. Tears roll down faces, mothers looking, all doctors looking. A boy has been born. A boy born to two different parents who are not there. Growing up, no family, he's just there. Parents gone, but relatives are there. But growing up, he doesn't really know too much about his parents. All he knows is that it's just a city, they have family, and they have food. 5 years old. He doesn't really remember he doesn't really remember how it was when he was too much little. All he remembers is 5. Picking up that first football or grabbing that first hot dog. 5 years old. That's one to him. Growing up in an African American family, living in an urban city during a crack epidemic. Growing up, came from household to household. You know how that is. As I transitioned, it was confusion, and it was just a state of loss. It's the 80s. There's money, there's drugs, and there's all that. As a person could recall in the 80s, there was a lot of money, there was definitely drugs, and there was just a lot of confusion going on. In my eyes, the streets, it just always was noisy. Really couldn't sleep. Just was constantly going outside. Every time I looked out, I would just see people standing outside, just standing there waiting for something new. As I thought about it, I'm only 5 or 6, and I'm witnessing murders and drug deals. But as time went on, my parents, even though they wasn't really there, they would come around here and there, but I didn't remember them too much. Now that they look, I'm already grown up, 15 years old, in high school, living in Southeast DC. Now I attend Springfield, Virginia. As I look at my class, everybody says I have a good sense of humor. A sense of humor that I tell them that it's something that no one could ever take from me. One thing I do remember is that as I was going through high school, I just always had that sense of humor and that ability just to have a good time. But sometimes you just have to be serious and just remember. Time goes on. Now as I look back again, I'm 18 now. Years have gone by. It's funny, because in a matter of 2 months, I'll be walking across the stage with a high school diploma. now as I think, I'm walking across the stage with the diploma, and I see family out. But then as I go to stop, I look and I see I see everybody else's parents, but I really don't see mine. And it just has me wondering. 18 years, but I don't remember really too much about them. Now I'm graduating. I got my diploma. Now I'm just sitting there, just waiting for that good job to come. Now I'm out of high school. Within 6 months of me getting out of high school, I actually landed a job though. I actually working at a phone store out in Virginia. Now as I'm working at the phone store, it's okay. Because I'm gonna hold off there for a good while. Now as I'm working at the phone store, it's something new. It's something really new that I gotta adapt to. So then I just wondered myself, is this what I want, or do I want to go back to school? So I hold off there for a good 4 years, get a good amount of money, but still living at relatives' house. Now I'm still living at relatives' house, and I'm just lost in the sauce. Just waiting for something new. Out of high school, just left the job, dealing with illnesses, and just dealing with a state of loss. For 26 years, for all these years, I've seen it, and I've seen people come, and I've seen people go. But I still wonder, are they coming back? Now, I'm just wondering, wow, growing up, it was so busy, but it was a lot going on. Just remembering how I transitioned so much, how I did so much transition all over DC. The main figures in my life were my grandparents, who looked over me as parents, parents were role models. I really had a strong relationship with my grandma from a young age. At that young, I had been taught right from wrong, and had been taught how to ride a bike. But after all those years, after all them things, and even after being in college, I suffered an illness which took me out. I'm still unconditionally sleeping. I still have no job. And it's a lot going on, especially now. But looking back, I had a brother and I had a cousin who really I treated, and people looked at, and everybody knew him as a brother. And I had uncles and other relatives, but I just didn't have my parents. So it was more harder for me to understand really too much about anything. So I had to basically look at it as like, I do this, I learn from this, and just move on. But now, I'm grown in my 20s. I still remember them doctors saying, look at what you brought into the world. A joyful African American child. And that's all they said. You hear cries, and I remember that hot dog at 5. But now as I look back at life, I've enjoyed birth, childhood, teenage stage, and adulthood. that's just how I want to live every day. Waking up happy, positive, and just live life to the fullest. And just be glad that I had my grandparents and relatives who stick behind me. But even though my parents wasn't there, maybe one day I could really sit down with them and really just talk to them.